There comes a time in every individual's life when the quiet whisper of potential becomes too loud to ignore. It's a moment of decision where one must either rise above the ordinary or settle forever into the comfort of mediocrity. Average is not a destiny, it is a default. And the difference between the average man and the man of fortune is not in resources, background, or opportunity. It is in mindset, method, and momentum. Every fortune ever built began in the mind of someone who dared to believe they were meant for more. If you will commit yourself to 5 deliberate, actionable steps, applied with faith, discipline, and burning desire, you can break free from the invisible chains of average and unlock the wealth, financial, emotional, and spiritual that has always been within your grasp. These are not theories. They are time-tested truths followed by every individual who has walked a path from nothing to something, from survival to significance, from average to fortune. The first step in transforming your life from average to fortune is to decide once and for all what you truly want. Not what you kind of want. Not what sounds nice when you talk about it to others, but what you desire with such intensity that it burns like a fire inside your soul. This is what Napoleon Hill called a definite chief aim. It is the centerpiece of your personal mission, the reason you rise early, the cause that pulls you through discomfort and distraction. Until you know exactly what you want with crystal clarity, you are drifting. And no man who drifts ever builds a fortune. A definite chief aim is not vague, and it is not a general wish or a hopeful intention. It is specific. It is measurable. It has a deadline. You must be able to see it in your mind's eye as clearly as you see the chair beneath you. You must know the number, the location, the lifestyle, the impact, the details. Your mind must be saturated with the image of your goal. When the image is strong, it pulls you toward it. And when it is weak, you remain in place. To develop your definite chief aim, begin by asking yourself, what would my life look like if I were living at my highest potential? Write the answer down. Then refine it. Define the financial goals, define the lifestyle, define the contribution. The clearer your picture, the more powerful your direction. Ambiguity is the enemy of action. Clarity produces confidence, and confidence fuels momentum. Once you have created your definite chief aim, it must become the focus of your daily attention. Write it out every morning. Read it aloud every night. Place it where you can see it throughout the day. You are not merely repeating words. You are reprogramming your subconscious mind. The subconscious responds to repetition, emotion, and belief. Every time you focus on your aim, you impress it deeper into your subconscious, which begins to work for you, filtering opportunities, sharpening your awareness, and guiding your behavior. But the aim alone is not enough. It must be combined with a burning desire. This is not mild interest or casual motivation. This is the kind of desire that consumes your thoughts, that drives you to work when others sleep, that keeps you learning when others relax. That's from reading Doss Mueller's Overture, the song that he wrote with the Army background change. The words conviction and determination come to those who must have it, who treat its achievement as a matter of life or death. When your definite chief aim is tied to a purpose larger than comfort or ego, when it is born from your deepest conviction, you have a guiding star. Every decision you make, every action you take, must now be measured against this aim. If it moves you closer to it, do it with intensity. If it distracts you from it, eliminate it without hesitation. This focus is what separates the wealthy from the wandering, the fulfilled from the frustrated. In these next 6 months, the single most powerful thing you can do is commit to your definite chief aim as if your life depends on it. Because in many ways it does. The life you truly desire, the fortune in mind, money, meaning, and impact, can only be built on a foundation of unwavering focus and purpose. Fortune does not visit the indecisive. It is drawn like a magnet to the man who knows exactly what he wants and is willing to stake everything on its achievement. The second step in your journey from average to fortune is the unshakable mastery of self-discipline and emotional control. This is not a step you can afford to overlook, because every great achievement demands personal restraint, focused intention, and emotional strength. The ability to control yourself, your habits, your reactions, your emotions, is the foundation upon which fortune is built. The man who cannot command himself will never command results. He may have talent, he may have desire, but without discipline, all his potential leaks away through the cracks of inconsistency. Self-discipline begins with understanding that success is rarely convenient. It doesn't show up on your best days. It demands your best even when you feel your worst. It doesn't wait until you're inspired or motivated. It responds to consistency. The successful person doesn't rely on how they feel. They rely on the habits they've trained themselves to follow. They rise early not because they want to, but because they've made a decision that their goals matter more than their comfort. They work on their craft not because it's always exciting, but because excellence is the price of greatness. Discipline is doing what must be done, especially when you don't feel like it. This is where average people stop. They follow their moods, they let circumstances dictate their actions. But you must become the kind of person who acts from principle, not emotion. Principle is steady, emotion is fleeting. You cannot build anything lasting on the foundation of impulse. The man who is ruled by emotion becomes a slave to his surroundings. The man who rules his emotion becomes the master of his fate. Emotional control is not about becoming cold or indifferent. It is about power. Power over your reactions. Power over your mindset. It is the ability to remain steady when the world shakes. It is staying calm in the face of criticism. It is choosing patience over anger, focus over distraction, progress over drama. It is one of the greatest weapons in your arsenal, because when others are consumed by chaos, you remain strategic. When others waste energy on worry, you stay in motion. To develop emotional control, begin with awareness. Notice your triggers. Notice when you feel frustration, fear, jealousy, or doubt. Don't ignore these emotions. Observe them. Understand what sparks them. And then, instead of reacting blindly, choose a response that aligns with your highest aim. This is the art of mastery, responding, not reacting. The average person lets life dictate their mood. To begin, you must identify which skills create the most leverage in your desired field. What are the top 1% in your industry doing differently? What can they do that others cannot? Study their behaviors, their routines, their standards. Then ask yourself, what skill, if mastered, would make everything else easier or unnecessary? For some, it's communication, learning how to persuade, influence, and lead. For others, it's creativity, strategy, negotiation, or deep technical knowledge. You must choose your weapon, and then dedicate yourself to becoming world-class in that arena. This is not a one-time decision. It is a daily practice. Skill development is a war against mediocrity. It is saying no to distraction, comfort, and instant gratification. It is choosing to study when others relax. It is practicing when no one is watching. It is revisiting the fundamentals again and again until excellence becomes your standard, not your exception. This level of commitment is rare, which is why the rewards it creates are uncommon. Set time each day for deep practice, not casual effort. Deep, focused, intense repetition. Track your progress, measure your performance, get feedback from those who are more skilled than you. Seek mentorship. Watch, listen, and absorb everything you can from the masters. Read books, attend seminars, invest in your growth. Never let a day go by without doing something to sharpen your edge. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. The marketplace doesn't care how long you've been working. It cares how good you are. And don't just focus on hard skills. Master the soft skills that amplify your talent. Confidence, communication, adaptability, emotional intelligence, leadership. These are the skills that turn good into great and great into irreplaceable. When your ability to solve problems, to influence others, and to execute under pressure becomes second nature, your income will rise to match your impact. There is no fortune without value, and there is no value without skill. The road from average to extraordinary is paved with repetition, effort, feedback, and the relentless pursuit of mastery. Do not settle for being decent. Do not aim for good enough. If you commit, truly commit, to skill development for the next 6 months, if you treat your growth like a full-time job, like a mission, you will separate yourself from 95% of people who coast through life on autopilot. Every hour you invest in developing rare and valuable skills pays dividends for the rest of your life, because once you become a person of high value, the world will begin to chase you. Opportunities, partnerships, and wealth are drawn to those who bring excellence to the table. When you build skill, you build certainty. When you build certainty, you build power. And when you build power, fortune cannot help but follow. No man rises to great fortune alone. Behind every story of success, if you look close enough, you will find relationships, powerful, strategic, intentional alliances that multiplied effort, opened doors, and provided wisdom at critical moments. If you want to move from average to fortune, you must master the art of building relationships that elevate you. This is not about popularity. It's not about having a long contact list or a large social circle. It's about building the right relationships, those rooted in mutual value, aligned purpose, and shared vision. You are the average of the people you spend the most time with. That's not a catchy quote. It's a truth that governs your beliefs, habits, income. If your inner circle is filled with people who settle, who coast, who tolerate mediocrity, then average will become your standard, no matter how great your potential. But if you align yourself with those who strive for excellence, who think big, who speak life into your vision and challenge you to level up, then your own life will begin to rise to match that standard. Strategic relationships are intentional. You must seek out those who are ahead of you, who embody the mindset, discipline, and results you desire. This requires humility, because the average person only wants to associate with people who make them feel comfortable. But fortune doesn't live in comfort. It lives in growth. And growth comes from friction, from being around people who make you better, who stretch your perspective, who hold you accountable to your potential. To build these relationships, you must bring value first. Don't just network, contribute. Don't just seek connections, create connections. Ask yourself, how can I help this person succeed? What do they need that I can provide? That mindset will open more doors than any resume or pitch ever could. Successful people are attracted to energy, authenticity, and value. When you show up with a heart to serve, a hunger to grow, and a willingness to contribute, you become magnetic. It also means cutting ties with those who drag you down, not with bitterness, but with clarity. You cannot climb while carrying the weight of people who are committed to staying the same. Protect your energy. Guard your time. Limit access to your mind and emotions. You are not obligated to stay small to make others comfortable. Your future is too important. Your purpose is too sacred. Seek mentors who have walked the path ahead of you. Don't wait for them to find you. Go find them. Read their books. Follow their work. Invest in their courses or masterminds. Reach out with thoughtful questions. Study their principles and apply them. Sometimes the greatest relationships begin with respect and observation, not personal connection. The key is to be a student before you try to be a peer also. Learn to collaborate. Find others on the same path with different strengths. Partnerships, when built on trust and vision, can accelerate results exponentially. One idea from a conversation can be worth more than months of solitary effort. The right alliance can cut years off your learning curve. But remember, only partner with people who share your values and your standards. Alignment matters more than opportunity. And finally, become the person you want to attract. If you want to build high-level relationships, you must first operate at a high level yourself. Keep your word. Show up with excellence. Communicate with clarity. Lead with integrity. Your reputation is your greatest asset in the world of relationships. Guard it fiercely. Success is not just about what you know or even what you do. It's about who you do it with. When you build the right relationships, you borrow wisdom, you gain access, and you multiply your momentum. One person can change your life. One introduction can change your income. One conversation can spark a breakthrough. The average man tries to go it alone. The man of fortune builds a tribe, a network, an inner circle of excellence that elevates everything he touches. Reese, you have a clear vision, disciplined habits, valuable skills, and strategic relationships. The next step is to unleash relentless, focused action toward your goal. Not occasional effort, not bursts of inspiration followed by weeks of procrastination. I'm talking about massive action, the kind that breaks through barriers, makes you impossible to ignore, and compels the universe to respond. Every man who rose from average to fortune had this trait in common. He moved with urgency, intensity, and unwavering belief. He didn't wait for perfect conditions. He created them through motion. Massive action is not about being busy. It's about being effective. The average person confuses motion with progress. They spend hours planning, talking, dreaming, but never truly executing. Fortune respects execution. You cannot think your way into wealth. You cannot affirm your way into greatness. At some point, you must do the work. The ones who rise are those who outwork, outlast, and outfocus everyone around them. They are in the arena while others are in the stands. They take swings while others take notes. But action alone is not enough. It must be paired with unshakable faith. Faith in yourself, faith in your vision, faith that what you're building, even if no one else sees it yet, will one day stand tall. This faith must be irrational by most people's standards. It must be rooted so deeply that no setback, no delay, no rejection can break it. Because the journey from average to fortune will test you. It will stretch you. There will be days when the results don't match your effort. Days when you feel invisible. Days when quitting whispers in your ear. But the man of fortune does not move by sight. He moves by vision. He keeps going not because the path is easy, but because the goal is worth it. You must act as if success is inevitable, not optional, inevitable. This mindset fuels your persistence. It gives you permission to fail forward, to stumble without losing stride, to keep swinging when others stop. Most people give up at the first sign of resistance. They interpret struggle as a sign to stop. But the successful man interprets it as a test of worthiness. If it were easy, everyone would do it. Struggle is the gatekeeper between average and fortune. And only the persistent are allowed through. Personal means showing up when no one claps for you. It means knocking on doors that don't open right away. It means refining your strategy when something doesn't work, not abandoning the mission. You keep going until you do the reps until they pay off. You try the next angle, the next call, the next campaign, the next conversation. You are willing to look foolish. You are willing to be misunderstood because you are not playing for applause. You are playing for results. To sustain this level of action and belief, you need systems, set daily targets, track your output, build momentum one task at a time. Reward progress. Reflect on wins. Learn from losses. Create an environment where action is easier than inaction. Surround yourself with people who move fast, who don't wait for permission, who inspire you to elevate your pace. And most of all, protect your belief. Guard your mind from doubt. Stay connected to your vision. Review it. Visualize it. Speak it into existence. This combination, massive action fused with unshakable faith and persistence, is what separates the extraordinary from the average. It turns dreams into results. It breaks the chains of procrastination and fear. It creates luck through sheer force of effort. Because the truth is, you are one idea, one decision, one connection, one act of courage away from a completely different life. But you'll never know unless you act. And keep acting. And never stop. In the pursuit of fortune, it is not the most talented who rise to the top. It is the most focused. Success is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most, with intensity and consistency. The man who can block out distractions, eliminate the unnecessary, and zero in on his highest value activities is the man who moves fastest and furthest. Average people dabble. They scatter their energy across dozens of pursuits. But those who build wealth, impact, and legacy, they concentrate their power like a laser beam on what produces results. Focus is a discipline. In a world screaming for your attention, notifications, messages, news, entertainment, the ability to focus is a superpower. Most people wake up and immediately react to the world. They check their phones. They respond to emails. They scroll endlessly. Their energy is consumed before the day even begins. But the person who is destined for fortune protects his focus like a sacred resource. He doesn't let his schedule be dictated by urgency or noise. He designs his day around priorities, not distractions. To practice ruthless focus, you must first get clear on your one thing, the core goal that, if achieved, will make everything else easier or unnecessary. Not 10 goals, not 5. 1. Fortune does not reward the multitasker. It rewards the master. Once you identify this target, everything in your life must bend to support it. If it doesn't move you closer to that goal, it is a distraction. Learn to say no. Learn to eliminate. Every yes to something insignificant is a no to something essential. Time is your most precious asset. You cannot afford to waste it. Track where it goes. Audit your habits. Are you working or just being busy? Are you progressing or just moving? The man of fortune treats his time like gold. He schedules deep work blocks. He eliminates time-wasting conversations. He turns off his phone when it's time to build. He protects his mornings. He attacks his highest value task before the world wakes up. He is not casual with his hours. He is surgical. You must also focus your energy, not just your hours, but your emotional and mental bandwidth. Protect your peace. Don't get entangled in drama. Don't let other people's chaos become your own. The sharper your energy, the clearer your decisions. The clearer your decisions, the faster your results. This is why meditation, solitude, and journaling are tools of the successful. They don't just quiet the noise, they align your focus with your mission. Eliminate distractions ruthlessly. If social media doesn't serve your business or growth, limit it. If television numbs your ambition, cut it. If certain people always bring negativity, distance yourself. Your destiny is too important to be diluted by things that don't serve it. Fortune demands focus, and focus demands sacrifice. But the sacrifice is temporary. The rewards are forever. It is also important to remember that focus is not just about what you do. It's about what you do first. The order matters. The first 2-3 hours of your day should be reserved for your most critical work. Not checking emails, not doing errands, but building, creating, advancing. When you win your morning, you control your momentum, and momentum compounds into results. Lastly, focus is about alignment. Make sure your goals, habits, and environment all support the same outcome. If your goal is financial freedom, but your habits are rooted in comfort and consumption, you're out of alignment. If your vision is to lead, but you spend your time hiding, you're out of alignment. Focus is not just doing more. It's doing the right things the right way every single day. When you cut the noise and channel your energy, time, and effort into the few things that truly move the needle, you accelerate at a pace the average man cannot match. And in that speed, in that clarity of direction, you leave average behind, and fortune begins to chase you. Every fortune begins in the mind. Long before money shows up in the bank account, long before opportunities appear, long before the world notices your rise, the seeds of success are planted in your thinking. If you want to go from average to fortune, you must train your mind like a warrior every day without fail, because the mind is both your greatest ally and your greatest enemy. It will either push you forward or pull you back. It will either speak life or speak limits. And the man who does not take command of his own thoughts becomes a slave to the noise around him. Your thoughts shape your beliefs, and your beliefs shape your actions. No one outperforms their identity. No one earns beyond the boundaries of their self-picture. If you believe you're average, you will act like it. If you believe money is evil, you will unconsciously repel it. If you believe success is for them and not for you, you will sabotage your progress. But the moment you change your beliefs, you change your behavior, and when behavior changes, results follow. Every time. This is why the most successful people do not leave their mindset to chance. They condition it like a professional athlete conditions their body. They feed it, strengthen it, stretch it, and discipline it daily. You must begin each day by aligning your mind with your mission. Read something that expands you. Speak affirmations that affirm your destiny. Visualize your goals as already achieved. Remind yourself who you are and where you're going. You cannot build an extraordinary life with an average mindset. Guard your mental diet. What you consume is what you become. If you fill your mind with fear, scarcity, gossip, and distractions, don't be surprised when your life reflects confusion and lack. But if you flood it with wisdom, vision, purpose, and possibility, your life will begin to elevate accordingly. What you listen to, what you watch, who you talk to, it all matters. The input is programming your belief system. Choose wisely. Use powerful language. The words you speak shape your emotional state and your perception of reality. Eliminate phrases like, I can't, it's too hard, or I'm not ready. Replace them with certainty. I am capable. I am prepared. I always figure it out. Speak what you seek until you see what you've said. Your words are not just descriptions, they are declarations, and declarations shape destiny. Meditation, journaling, and stillness are not just spiritual practices, they are tools of clarity. They give you space to think, to reflect, to reconnect with your inner power. The noise of the world is constant. If you do not pause and recenter, you will be swept away by opinions, trends, and fears that don't belong to you. Take time each day, even 10 minutes, to sit with your thoughts and filter them. Ask, is this belief helping me or holding me back? Then choose new thoughts consciously. You are not your thoughts. You are the thinker of thoughts. And that gives you the power to change everything. Surround yourself with voices of greatness. Listen to those who challenge you to rise. Read biographies of legends. Follow mentors who think at a higher frequency. Let their mindset rub off on you until it becomes your default. Success leaves clues, and one of the greatest is this: those who rise think differently than those who stay stuck. If you adopt the thinking of the wealthy, you will start to attract their results. Conditioning your mind is not optional if you want lasting success. It is the foundation upon which every action and decision rests. You can have the best strategies, the most opportunity, the most connections, but if your mind isn't trained to receive success, you'll push it away. Fortune begins internally. Wealth is a mindset before it's a number. And the man who wins the inner game cannot be defeated in the outer world.